We all have been eating popcorn laughing at Florida death row inmate Wade Wilson. From getting catfish, scammed, and his life threatened by other inmates, his life on death row has been very comical. Now for the people that get updates on Wade Wilson via text, a text message came in this morning. The text message said Wade Wilson has been transferred to Suwannee CI. Suwannee Correctional Institution is a state prison for adult male inmates located in Live Oak, Florida, operated by the Florida Department of Corrections. Opened in 2009, the facility has a mix of security levels, including minimum, medium, and close custody. It houses some of Florida's most high-risk offenders, including those serving long-term or life sentences. Suwannee CI is known for its strict lockdown protocols and has gained attention over the years for violent incidents, alleged staff misconduct, and poor conditions reported by inmates and their families. Despite attempts to offer educational and rehabilitation programs, the institution is often described as tense and understaffed, with critics pointing to systemic issues in the broader Florida prison system. After saying all that, we asked a former inmate, what does this mean for Wade Wilson?
I think I'm doing what every YouTuber that's in this field is doing right now, trying to find out, why did Wade Wilson get transferred out of death row? The first thing I do when I seen the text was I called two former inmates in Florida. The first one being Pino. Pino responded back with some audio. The other person I called was Woody. New Life with Woody's his channel, and he actually, hooked us up with somebody that was in Suwannee earlier last year. So we've talked to somebody that's been in there before, and I just got their opinions of why they think Wade Wilson be in there. He's being housed with some killers over there, and the leader of Unforgiven's over there, Aiden Fucci, this guy right here on the left is over there for killing Tristan Bailey. The crazy thing is that we all need to keep in mind, him being out of Union CI in Suwannee is notable for people getting touched. Like, he can get touched in Suwannee, even though he's in PC. Him walking to the shower. Those correctional officers give less shit about him. They're less liable than Union CI because they got to keep the death row inmate alive to the death. But that's just my opinion. That's why I went and reached out to some former inmates to get some real details. Now, this is from New Life with Woody. I asked him, hey, have you been to Suwannee? He says, no, but I got a homeboy that's at Suwannee right now. I don't think I spelled that right, but I got a homeboy that's in prison right now. They probably sent him there for either disciplinary or protective reasons. And then we got Pino's response. Now, let's see what Pino says.
Absolutely. Wade Wilson is still on death row. He's just being housed at a TCU unit, which is a psych unit. So what he had to do was something very crazy. Such as maybe hit his wrist in front of the officer, maybe do something crazy that would land him on a TCU unit. He'll be on the TCU unit for about, I would say, 3 to 4 months, but he will be back into his death row unit at Union CI after evaluations are done and after psych doctors come and see him. How the TCU unit works is they work on a tier level. So he'll start out at a tier 3 and he'll work his way up to a tier 1. Tier 1 basically means that you are almost safe enough to integrate back into population. TCU unit just basically means they have 24/7 on-call nurses, psych doctors, and psychologists. That's what the TCU unit is. He's still confined behind a door. He won't come out but an hour, maybe a week, just to take a shower. Hour every like I think it's like 3 times a week to take a shower. But he'll be handcuffed, shackled to his shower, and that's about it.
Nobody could get to him. Unforgiven that Suwannee can't get to him.
No, nobody can get to him. The only person that can actually communicate with him will either be the orderly inside the TCU unit or the officers.
I just don't understand why it's so extreme, because you got a death row inmate that has mental health issues. We already knew that. So it had to be something. Do you think it had to be something super extreme? Like he almost like Jeffrey Epstein himself, so they had to transfer him.
It's a possibility. He could have put something around his neck and waited till the officer came by to try to play the role. But the thing is Union has a psychologist team. They have a therapeutic team, like for nurses and on call for mental health. However, they don't have a 24-hour team. There's only 3 prisons in the state of Florida that have a 24-hour team. That's Santa Rosa Correctional Institution, the TCU unit, Suwannee Correctional Institution, the TCU unit, and South Florida Reception Center has a psych TCU unit.
Interesting, man. I think Woody might have went to Suwannee. I know a couple people that Suwannee's the biggest prison in Florida, right?
Say that again.
Is Rosa the bigger or Swanee? Swanee's huge.
Swanee's bigger. Swanee is a newly built prison. It's actually almost twice as big as Santa Rosa. It's actually bigger. Santa Rosa has a main unit, an annex, and a work camp. Swanee, same thing, main unit, annex, work camp, except Swanee has additional things like we were talking about the TCU unit, which is a therapeutic care unit. Swanee also has a CM unit for close management. So inmates who are too violent that have to be housed on close management can land themselves at Swanee CI. It's a maximum security prison. Basically, it holds every kind of inmate possible. As far as death row inmates, they don't spend too much time there, and usually they're only there, like I said, for psych evaluation or 24/7 on-call nurses and stuff like that for mental health needs. He will be integrated back to Union CI by, I would say by the end of the year, he'll be back at Union CI, maybe a lot sooner.
Dang, you think it's an upgrade for him? That's my last question. Do you think this is better for Wade Wilson or worse?
Absolutely, it's better for him. Um, so the thing is in a TCU unit, you have more people paying attention to you, and if you're an attention whore like Wade Wilson, um, he's going to be loving the attention. He's going to have nurses to come by and see him every 6 hours. He's going to have a doctor talk to him once a day. He's going to have a psychologist talk to him once a day. So yeah, he'll be communicating with, people in general more, perchance being locked behind a door 24 hours a day and nobody coming by that cell to check on you. At Swanee, he'll still be locked behind a door. However, he'll have nurses, he'll have mental health technicians come by to talk to him. He'll be pulled out of that cell once a day to talk to a psychologist. He'll be pulled out again to talk to a therapist. And those are the people essentially who do the evaluations to see whether or not he can go back to his normal prison and his population, which would be death row population.
I appreciate you, man. This is very informative. Exclusive. A lot of people don't get the Florida inmates in. You got to get. It's like football, bro. It's like you got to go get someone to play the game, ask the questions, the same shit. Unfortunately, you did that your whole life, over 10 years. So I thank you, man. Thank you, bro.
No problem. Anytime.
Now his number one chick right now, his number one side chick, or whatever you want to call her, Slut Lana, Team Wade's leader, doesn't even know why he's in there, right? I think we came with the best answer. It's because Swanee has a 24-hour team to evaluate inmates. These other places don't, and he will be back in death row. He's not off the hook yet unless Ufferman can get that appeal. And the contract with Ufferman's up in October. The money that's going in, Jesse doesn't have to pay the bill. This is another thing, Team Wade. It's like it's so stupid because you're paying Jesse's bill. Jesse isn't a part of Team Wade no more because she's on the power of attorney, but you're paying her bill. I don't know. I thought that was interesting. I don't know really what's going on with a Team Wade, but it sounds like a bunch of this hypocrisy, idiotocracy, whatever you want. Just stupid ass women over there from different countries. But this is what we do know. Wade Wilson is not on death row at the time. He's in Swanee, and in my opinion, he is more accessible. But we'll see what happens. He might just have a better time over there. He might be able to get some of that fentanyl in there that he was getting at Lee County Jail. But who knows, man? This is New Age Plug. You did it again.